What's up, YouTube? It's been a while. This is Fast Freddy, also known as SDC. For those of you who have been following me and supporting me, I really appreciate it. Right now, my following is pretty small, so I appreciate everyone who listens, everyone who contacts me. Thanks so much for that. I know I haven't been active, but trying to get back into it. So today, I'd like to talk about 5 steps to becoming a successful sugar daddy. So, sugaring, if you've come to my channel, it might not be what you think. I think the perception of sugaring is just like basically you throw money at a girl and you get the most beautiful girl that's interested in, basically money. So it opens the doors for you. That's not exactly the case. What I've found is sugaring is very similar to regular dating. These are not prostitutes. I think prostitutes, and nothing against prostitution, I always say that, but prostitutes, their number one priority is money. So you're a client, it's strictly transactional, throw them money, you get what you want. Sugaring is a little different. It is dating, but girls have put their priority as financial provision over anything else, and financial help over anything else. So it's not going to be as simple as just throwing money at a girl. Although that does kind of lubricate things and helps things along. So I'm going to give you what my opinion is on 5 tips on being successful in sugar dating and being a successful sugar daddy. The first tip is looks do matter. So you do have to look good. For those of you that are, maybe you think you're overweight, maybe you're older, maybe you don't think you're as handsome, the bad news is that still matters. I'd say most of the girls on the site, they're not going to date people that they're not attracted to. Even though it's not the number one priority, they're not going to date people that they're not attracted to. Now, the good news is that's not their number one priority. So you don't have to be a Chad, you don't have to be Brad Pitt, you don't have to be Michael B. Jordan. But what's important is to be clean and healthy. That's the most important thing. Even if you're not perfect, you can strongly increase your chances by simply looking good. So I'm not saying let that stop you. You're not going to be perfect. You don't have to look perfect, but you do need to work on that and use what your strengths are. So if you have facial hair, make sure you're clean cut. If you have regular hair, get a good haircut for your normal hair. And then very simple. All you got to do is work out, lose a little bit of weight, get as close as you can to as fit as you can. You don't have to have a six-pack, but the closer you can get to that, the closer you can get to muscles, the more you're going to increase your chances. I know that sounds like it doesn't seem like rocket science, like that's a secret, but a lot of people think that you can just bypass that by just throwing money at girls, and it's not. Again, they're not going to just be with someone who's unattractive, and if they are, it's probably a sex worker that you're talking to anyway, and that's a whole nother headache or subject. Tip number 2, you need to learn to talk to women. It's very actually simple talking to women, and a lot of men complicate it. Contrary to what a lot of people might think, it's not just overloading them with compliments. The trick is to ask them about themselves and ask them open-ended questions. Not ask them about sex, not just complimenting their looks constantly. You can throw a compliment in there once in a while. You can even have a conversation about sex, but it's not about flirting or anything like that. Talk to them, show you're interested in them, ask them questions about themselves. Most of the conversation may just be you asking them and them running their mouth. They feel like they're heard. They feel like, you want to know about them. They build a connection with you when they do that. Practice that. Practice that at the mall with clerks. Practice that with your friends. Practice that with, your friends' wives. And I'm not saying to hit on them or anything, but you need to learn how to properly speak to women. And again, these sugar babies, I don't even like these terms, but these sugar babies, they're going to want someone as quote-unquote normal as possible. And frankly, if you know how to talk to women, they're probably going to like you better than all their previous relationships. So ask them open-ended questions. Ask them what they do. How do they like their job? Ask them what they study. Ask them as deep questions as you can, and reflect even what they say. This is just basic communication. If they speak to you, you can just repeat what they say in a different way. They'll feel like they were heard. So now, number 1, look good. Number 2, you talk to them. Number 3, obviously, and this maybe is number 1, you need to make a little money. I suspect that if you're in this channel, you probably are making money. Money helps, and that's what this is about. Now, do you have to be filthy rich? No, but it kind of works in a way that if you take care of everything else, the less money you're going to have to put up. If you don't take care of everything else, like you don't look good, you can't talk to women, the more money you'll have to put up. For some of you, that may not be a big deal, but again, it's not everything. So you're not going to just increase your chances by throwing, or you're not going to, let's say, guarantee your chances by throwing money at them, but you will increase your chances. Now, me personally, I make sure to show the girls that I'm a man of my word. If I tell them I'm going to give them X amount, even if they forget to ask me or whatever, I give it to them. If sometimes girls let me leave without even paying, I still cash up them even if I'm gone, so they trust me. So your word is your bond. The money is the main purpose. And again, you don't have to be a millionaire. If you do well and you whatever you guys sort of talk about and agree upon for the allowance or gifts, it might be as small as a couple $100. It might be a little bit more if you really want them to be happy and really want them to stick to you. But yeah, be of your word. Pay what you say you'll pay. Take care of the girl. That's the whole point of this. Number 4. Now, this is more about you, is to don't fall prey to the fantasy. A lot of you are going to, this is the first time maybe that you've talked to an attractive girl, you're going to fall in love right away. Number 1, girls can smell your neediness. If they feel like you're getting attached too quick, they will drop you. I don't know how many girls I've talked to where they're like, yeah, I want I left my sugar daddy, my last arrangement, because they wanted to marry me. Now, I don't recommend falling for a sugar baby. It's happened to me a bunch of times. I've learned my lesson. But if you do, you got to follow all the other dating tips that all the other gurus talk about, which is it has to be on them to get closer to you and sort of initiate the emotional stuff. It can't be you. Especially the problem is it's very difficult to go backwards and say, okay, now we're going to go date or just normally. It's very difficult when there's an expectation set that they're going to get basically financially taken care of by you. So don't fall into the fantasy. Remember, this is, even if it doesn't feel transactional, this is an arrangement, an agreement, and keep that in mind. Number 5, you have to be, and this is the last tip, you have to be in abundance. And that is a tricky one because sugaring, just like dating, is a mess. There's girls that are disrespectful. There's girls that are scared. There's girls that there's no emotional bond tying them. There's girls that are shady. You have to be able to move forward to the next one, and you can't do that unless you're in abundance, meaning you have a lot of options. The way you do that is by following the first 4 steps that I talked about. If you're looking good, you know how to talk to women, you're successful making money, you're not needy, so you're not falling into the fantasy, you're naturally going to attract a lot of options because you're going to stand out from all the other sort of needy asshole sugar daddies. But you need to be in abundance, meaning if a girl disrespects you, goes against your boundaries, you're ready to drop her and move on to the next one. And that's hard in the beginning because you get emotionally attached, but sooner or later you got to get to a point where if a girl's not acting right, she needs to go because you're paying for this. This is an investment. You are not getting a return on your investment. And you guys are businessmen, you know this is a bad investment. If a girl is rude, not responding to your texts, seeing other people, taking your money, not following through, these are things that maybe, if you have boundaries, you need to be in abundance and keep with your boundaries, not fall prey to the fantasy. So those are my suggestions. Those are some tips. Hopefully those have helped. Let me know if you have any comments, any stories. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks.